Greetings and salutations. Welcome back to the Adjutant. On this channel, I break down complex topics into clear, practical information you can actually use. No hype, no noise, just clarity. Let's begin. If you ever looked at your LES and thought, how in the world did they come up with this number? Well, if so, you are absolutely not alone. Military pay can look confusing at first glance, but once you understand the system, it actually follows a very clear structure. Now, military pay can look confusing, but in this video, I'm going to walk you through exactly how military pay is calculated, step by step, what's included, what's not, and how all the pieces fit together so you understand what you're really earning and why. Now, at its core, military pay is not one single number. It's made up of separate components, each designed to cover a specific part of your life. The three main parts or pieces you need to understand are base pay, basic allowance of housing or BAH, or basic allowance for substance, or as it's always referred to as BAS. Now, once you understand these three, the rest of military pay starts to make a lot more sense. Base pay is the foundation of military compensation. It is determined by two things. You gotta remember that. By your rank and your years of service. Base pay is the same across all the branches. As an example, an Army E5 with 6 years of service earns the exact same pay as a Navy, Air Force, Space Force, shout out to Space Force, with 6 years of service. We're all going to pay the same. Base pay increases, however, in two ways. First, through promotion, and second, through longevity, meaning time in service. One thing you need to understand is that even if you don't promote, your base pay can still increase, and that is when you come across certain service milestones. That is why time in uniform matters financially. Base pay is extremely important because it affects more than just your monthly paycheck. Base pay is used to calculate your military retirement. Your also, in certain ways, your special pay, and how much you contribute through your TSP or your thrift savings plan. And for the civilian folks out there, it is your retirement plan for military, TSP. Now, this is why understanding your base pay isn't optional. It directly affects your long-term financial future. Next, we're going to talk about is the basic allowance for housing, or as they like to say, all these acronyms in the military, BAH. Now, BAH exists to help offset the cost of housing when you live off base. And you'll learn that many things can determine your BAH, and that is where you're living. So your BHA is calculated also based off of your rank, dependency status, and as I was alluding to, your duty location. So as an example, let's do a little quick example. You got two service members with the same rank. They receive completely different BHH simply amounts, and you're probably wondering, how in the world can that happen? Well, it's important to understand that BAH is not a bonus. It is designed to cover housing costs, and it can change when you PCS, change rank, change dependency status. Remember, it's because it's based off of your station, and different duty stations will pay different rates. So say someone in some parts of Mississippi, say Jackson, Mississippi, shout out to Jackson, Mississippi, your housing costs are going to be significantly less, I guess, than say someone living in New York City. All right, now let's talk about the food allowance. The third is basic allowance for substance, or BAS. BAS is meant to help cover the cost of food. So for those of y'all who like to eat, have some money to defray that cost. Now, enlisted members and officers receive BAS at different rates. Don't ask me why. But I tell you what, that was one of many incentives that inspired me to go to the green to gold, because you get a little bit more money. Actually, depending on where you are, it could offset that as well. But officers and enlisted, they make different rates. BAS, all these acronyms. BAS, or Basic Allowance for Substance, is not meant to cover all food expenses. It simply offsets the costs of the food. All right. So what's not included? Well, I'm going to take this off. Let me know if I sound better with this, because I'm kind of muffled. I've some of my few other videos, I sounded kind of muffled. All right. One common misunderstanding is thinking BAS or BAH, and BAS represents total compensation. Well, they don't. Special pay, incentives pay, deployment pays, and tax advantages can all significantly change what you actually take home. That's why two people with the same rank can have very completely different paychecks. Let's talk about some myths. Here are a few myths that I want to clear up. Number one, everyone with the same rank makes the same money. That is not true, folks. That is absolutely not true. Myth number two, allowances are bonuses. They're not. They exist to offset specific costs, which kind of ties into, someone with the same rank making the same amount of money. Depending on your housing allowance, that can up your overall money significantly. And myth number three, military pay is simple. Well, it's structured, but only simple once you understand how the system works. Understanding how military pay is calculated puts you in control. It helps you budget better, plan ahead, evaluate re-enlistment decisions, enlistment decisions, and think long-term about your career. Now, whether you plan to serve 4 years or 20 years, this knowledge gives you leverage. Now, before we wrap up, I want to leave you with this. Information only matters if you understand it, and understanding gives you options. Whether we're talking about military pay, benefits, travel, life decisions, the goal here is always the same: clarity over confusion. Too many people move through systems they don't fully understand, and that costs them time, money, and peace of mind. My goal with this channel is to slow things down, break things apart, and give you the context you need to make better decisions in your life. You don't have to know everything. You just have to know enough to ask the right questions, because that's where the leverage starts. Now, if this video has helped you, go ahead and hit that like button so it reaches the people who need it, and subscribe if you want clear, straightforward breakdown without all the noise. I read the comments, I pay attention to what you want covered, and I treat this channel like a conversation and not a lecture. Remember this: your time matters, your decisions matter, and understanding the system you're operating in matters more than people realize. So, stay informed, stay intentional. I'll see you in the next one. I am the Adjutant. I wish you all blessings and blessings. Shalom.